Hi there, welcome back to episode 2 of Sit If You're Able. I'm your host, Max Abel, and joining me today is one of our great alum here at Bellarmine, Nick Parrish. Nicky P, how are we doing today?
Great, Max. Great.
Appreciate the time. Oh, yeah. So, just got into February, recording this February 1st, so that means it's officially baseball season for sickos who like to play baseball in the cold, and Nicky P was one of those sickos with us here. We're going to talk with him just about his baseball career and where he came from and where he is now. So, first of all, where'd you go to high school?
Right here in town. I went to Trinity High School, so which we'll get to later.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
yeah, from Trinity, I came to Bellarmine, so hometown kid.
Mm-hmm. So, going to Trinity, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of experience with this. My high school didn't really produce a whole lot of professional players. That's not quite the case with you guys. So what was it kind of like playing kind of as a high school kid, playing at Trinity where they just put guys out, feels like every year?
Yeah, it was awesome. I was lucky enough to have my travel ball coach from time I was 10 all the way kind of through high school. He was the head coach at Trinity, and yeah, it's awesome to go against great competition every day, and a bunch of those guys went on to play college ball, and now there's a few in pro ball as well. So, yeah.
So who all that's played college and pro ball were at Trinity with you when you were playing?
Brandon Fought, obviously. I think I've heard of him. I think you know that guy. Ben Metzinger, who's in the Brewers organization. Mm-hmm. Dalen Lyle in the Nationals organization. Austin Warner, he's a little bit older, but he's in the White Sox organization now. And I feel like I'm forgetting one or two, but yeah, that's
you and a couple other guys. Yeah, no, I mean, it's always. I know because we had practice. I remember a couple years ago, might have been last year, over at St. X. Yeah, and they have a similar kind of track record as Trinity, and you walk to their baseball field and it's just the names of all the guys who've gone there.
Yeah, right.
And Trinity's got the same thing, so it's pretty cool. So came here to Bellarmine, thrown out of the bullpen for us. What was kind of a little bit of a rocky road at times. Kind of snake bit with injuries, but got back on the mound for your senior year, was it?
Yep.
Senior year?
Yep.
And kind of was the one guy in our bullpen that I had some confidence in. So, tell us a little bit about kind of the adjustments that you had to make in the kind of your last year here.
Yeah. So my career was marked with a lot of adversity. It started back in high school. I had Tommy John surgery as a sophomore, and then just getting back from that. Obviously, there were ups and downs. That took 18 months, and then I was lucky enough to end up here at Bellarmine. And then my freshman year, started dealing with some shoulder pain. Ended up going on to have labrum surgery, and then worked back from that. Made it back. I guess COVID kind of canceled my sophomore year, but then junior year came back. Was starting to feel good, and then ended up having another elbow issue that I needed surgery on. So, yeah, I came back from that again, and then senior year, it was the fall. I couldn't throw baseball, so I was still dealing with a lot of pain. I was like, is this even worth it anymore? And I remember meeting with LO down at the field in the fall, and I was like, man, I'm done. Like, I've tried everything. I've gotten tons of injections to try to get me through. It just kind of took away my love for the game. And after that, a week later, I went back to the doctor, and he said, man, have you ever tried dropping your arm slot? Some guys, it works for some guys that are dealing with shoulder pain. So started pulling around with it. I mean, I didn't want to just quit and that be how it ended, but yeah, it ended up working out, and it took me a while to get the feel for it, but I'm glad I gutted it out because that was a fun last year for sure. So.
Yeah, it's always fun watching you come in because I mean, Division I baseball, usually you don't see kind of soft tossing sidearm lefties come in
Yeah.
late in the game as a closer, and then it's always kind of fun to watch guys on the other team like, what in the nobody hit it. Nobody hit it.
That's right. Had to find a way to be crafty lefty. So
Don't see very many of those. Tough to adjust to that. So finished up at Bellarmine 2 years ago. Now you're back at Trinity coaching. What's that been like for you?
it's been awesome. So I was going back to that story of my career here. I was debating whether or not to go back for my 5th year. I didn't have a senior day. I was planning on going back for my 5th year 100%. I got to the end of the season, was dealing with a hip injury, believe it or not. But went to the doctor. It turned out I needed hip surgery, and he basically said, you can't keep playing or you're going to need hip replacement by the time you're 30. So that sucked, but it was my time. And Coach Arnold, the coach at Trinity, was my coach growing up, but he called me actually that same day that right after I called Mingo and told him I was done, and he was like, would you like to come coach? And I'm glad I did. It was, this last year has been awesome, keeping me around the game and getting to know some of those guys and building relationships with them. I really, really love it. So it's always something, because my older brother is a lacrosse coach right now. So one thing that kind of asked him that I ask people who get into coaching when they're younger, is there ever anything that, like, when you were playing that coaches did that always like irritated you, or you didn't get why they did that now that you're coaching, you do? In a way, yeah. I mean, I always tell them I wish I knew back then what I know now, as far as especially as far as the rehab and arm care stuff goes and what it takes to take care of your body and all of that. I wish I would have known what I know now back then. I think my career would have looked a little bit different. But
heard that one a bunch.
I'm sure you have.
So I do have to ask one thing. So Nick, like myself, big Louisville fans, we will not talk about basketball.
Yeah, please no.
So we were talking, heard on the radio the other day, over-under was set, I think, at 9.5 wins for football season, which is all that we care about now, football school.
Yeah.
Are we taking the over, or are we taking the under on the 9.5?
I'm confident, man. I don't know about you, but we got Jeff Brom's killing it. He gives us something to look forward to, unlike the basketball program. So I can't wait. I'm taking the over.
Same. All righty. So that's about all we have for this week. Thank you, Nikki P, for swinging by. Make sure you stop in next week. We'll have a new show, a new guest. So appreciate you tuning in. This has been Sit If You're Able.